So you want to be an it girl? Hi guys, and welcome back to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. I am so excited to have back Alma from QW Self-Care. If you want to go back and listen to her first episode on the podcast, it's episode number 12. And we're going to talk all things skincare, kind of skincare 101. So hi, Alma, welcome back.
Hi, Marley. Thank you for having me back. This is my first repeat visit on the podcast. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
Yes, the best. I'm just so excited to talk to you about skincare. So I've been using your products since we talked last time. My skin's really changed.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
I use the glass skin elixir like every day. And
you do? Awesome.
I literally do. And I had really, just so everyone knows, I had really bad hormonal acne. Like honestly, it really goes in and out. And I use it literally every day. And you know how sometimes like acne products, your body gets used to it and it kind of doesn't work anymore. That hasn't happened yet.
Awesome.
So I'm like,
that was like maybe like months, like 6 months or so ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have the big bottle, bought the big bottle.
Oh, you did buy you bought the 4 ounce and it lasts forever. So that's why.
So good. Yeah. And like a little goes a long way and it's like strong, but like I like it strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so excited to talk about this whole space because like, I feel like a lot of people during lockdown kind of got more into skincare because they like are having a little bit more time, but also like I'm realizing something is like nobody really knows what you should do for skincare. You kind of just do the things or like the order. It's like a very confusing space, I think. And like, what do we actually really need to know? And like, what do we actually need to be doing? And what the rest is just like marketing.
Yeah. I think it's interesting you said that people got into skincare more in the pandemic. And I agree 100% because it kind of reminds me of how I started in my skincare journey was because when I was young, my mom wouldn't let me wear makeup. And so I was just like, well, all I have is the skin. So I got to make it do the best it can do. So I started like, mixing stuff and, using some of the things that she mixed. And that's how it all started. But I think that because you aren't going to work and seeing people as much, most people are wearing less makeup. I know that I used to do a full beat every day to go to work to my 9 to 5. And then after the pandemic, I have on, I think this is probably the most makeup I've worn, which is a little bit of lip gloss. And I touched in my brows just because you said we were going to be on camera. So I just wanted to, and I think I tapped a little concealer here because I have dark circles in my eyes, but still like no foundation or anything. But so you just,
my God.
And a lot of people are, saying that their skin is thriving as a result of just kind of letting it breathe and doing more skincare. So since we had that Marley and I chat on Instagram sometimes, but I was just, after she's like, let's do 101. And so I was just thinking of like my 3 big buckets. And so I kind of divided it into 3 buckets with 3 bullets just because I like 3.
Yes, like simplicity.
Yes, I do. And so that's how this whole thing started because I don't like a lot of steps. So I have cleanse, moisturizing, and then other. And then other at first was exfoliating, but I'm like, it's not really a whole thing. So I just made other bucket. So cleansing, moisturizing, other.
And that's the order you would go in.
That's why I would go. I mean, these are kind of like just my big tips. And then if you want to do just kind of you want to go through like a simple routine.
Yes.
Maybe at the end. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So it kind of starts, it's kind of in that order. So we can just hop in and go to cleansing, just my tips.
Yes.
And you guys, if you're watching, you'll see me look down because I made a blue sheet of notes.
We love preparation. We're all about it.
Yeah. All right. So for cleansing, the first thing I recommend is washing your face twice daily, morning and night. And if you don't do the night, wash, at least kind of just go over it with, a damp rag or makeup wipe or something, just kind of just to wipe the stuff that's in the air. Yeah. From the day. And then a deeper cleaning may be needed for makeup. So that brings me to double cleansing, which a lot of people do with, either oils or the makeup wipes or micellar water, the 3 things, but just basically double cleansing is just doing a cleanse before the makeup, because let's say if you have a makeup, I just don't think the washing all the time takes off everything. It's just easier if you've done that.
I totally feel the same. I recently just started double cleansing One, like at night, I still don't do it in the morning because I feel like it might be too drying. Even though I'm not sure if that's true, but I think it is. So I don't know, but it does make a big difference because I feel like you're washing once to get pollution, mask, sweat, whatever, makeup off, and then once for the skin.
Correct.
You're a fan of it because I kind of feel like it's like a trendy thing too.
No, I'm a fan. Even when I was doing, if I do if I'm wearing makeup and I always take it off, and I take a lot of time to take the makeup off and then wash, and then I'll check to make sure they're I like to use white washcloths. So if you're wiping and making sure you don't see any makeup, because a lot of people feel like, oh, all the makeup can come off. It can. You just need to give it, wipe some more, keep wiping if it's not there.
Quick question about makeup removal. What do you suggest for makeup removal? I've heard a lot of things about don't pull on the skin.
Agreed.
I don't know. I use one of those erase your face makeup towels, and I'm a big fan of them, but I definitely am pulling on my face. Is that bad?
Is that the towel where you just wet it with water and the makeup just wipes off? Yes. I just started using I never knew the name because I got mine from BJ, so I don't know. I probably just have the generic brand of it.
I think I do too. So
okay. I didn't know the right name for it, but yeah, I love those. I think anything just getting that makeup off, like you said, don't tug on your skin as best you can. So my mom always said, she would always kind of tell me to wipe my face up and not to pull, because she said gravity already pulls your skin down. So when you're wiping, you're wiping up and being very gentle because you have gravity working against you all the time. So I try to do just, I think whatever works for you to remove makeup. Some people like the makeup wipes. I know they're not good for the environment, and erase your face is better. I personally like the oils, and I think you have, I thought you had our magic oil, but if you do,
and I love it.
Okay. So the magic oil is awesome for removing makeup. So I just kind of put some in my hand and then I start massaging it over, and then you can take your erase your face and just wipe that off. And it saves you a step, just in kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's saving a step, but it just makes it come off better.
That's also super hydrating. And then it's right on the skin right there. Yeah. I've also been putting that oil over kind of my acne scarring. And it's really it's so moist. Yes. Yeah. And I'm I need this in this space because I feel like that's, the areas where I get the most bacteria. I don't know. So I'm really getting in there, it's set up. I feel primed and ready to go after.
Yeah. I love that. And it's a moisturizing oil, but it's very light. So, and if you want to try a different oil, another one that you can try, which is also in that oil, is grapeseed. That's a very light kind of moisturizing oil as well that you can use for double cleansing. So, and the other thing is you can do, if you're not wearing makeup and you just want to do a deeper cleansing to your face, you can do oil cleansing, which is basically so they say to put the oil on your face and you're massaging, you can use the magic oil, but you're massaging it into your face for 20 minutes, but that's a long time, right?
That's a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time. So I just do 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes and just kind of massage my face. But the funny thing is after you do this, you're amazed at the little grit that comes out, just the sebum and stuff like that comes out of your face. Doing that as a first step. You're just whoa, this is a lot. But it's a great first step. So that's what I said, double cleansing with or without makeup. It's just good just to kind of go in there and go deep.
Yes.
And then there's another cleanse that's in the other section, but I'll go over that then. And then another thing in the cleanse bucket that I have here is clean your pillows and clean your brushes, because a lot of people do not wash their makeup brushes as often as they should. So it depends upon how often you're wearing makeup. When I was, doing a full glam every day, I wash my makeup brushes at least once a week. And then pillows and pillowcases, some people change their pillowcases every week and then wash the pillows every other week. So it just depends upon what works for you. But those two areas where people have been telling me that they're doing an amazing job of their skincare routine, but then they're still struggling with acne and things like that. If it's not a hormonal issue, a lot of times it's because whatever's touching their face is not clean. So also wipe your cell phones, make sure those are clean as well. And just anything that touches your skin, just make sure it's good.
I think it was you who told me this about the pillowcase too. And after we talked about it, I switched to a slip pillowcase.
Oh yeah.
It instantly helped.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Wild. I won't even sleep on a different pillow now. Like I literally won't because I was like, wow. And like, I never washed my pillows. So I was like, I'm sure that played a huge part in it. So huge fan of if you're having like bacterial breakup in there too, definitely wash your pillowcases.
Yeah. And the other benefit of pillowcase washing is if you're allergy sufferer, it helps that too. Cause you gotta think of like all the pollen and everything gets in our hair as we walk through it. I mean, a lot of people wash their hair every day, but not a lot of us don't. So you have, that kind of thing going on. So you want to make sure that's clean, and it helps just in a plethora of things. But yeah.
Totally. So
all right.
Yes. Oh, I was gonna say, what happens next?
Okay. So next, after you've cleaned your face, you want to moisturize. So, and I'll walk through that, but normally the first thing I do is a toner. And I spray on the healer for that. And then after that is my moisturizer. So it just depends. But I'll go through my steps in the moisturize section here I have. So the first step for moisturizing is internal. So our skin is our largest organ and covers our entire body. So drink enough water. And I put enough in there because a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm drinking enough water. I drink a liter. I'm like, no, it should be, you need to drink more than that. So it should be at least 2 liters of water per day. I think it's 2.2 liters. And then, or some people say half your weight in ounces of water, which I don't know, if you've thickened up over the quarantine, that might be a little strong, a lot to do. It's a lot of water. Let's just do 2 liters and you're fine. And then I have moisturize and seal skin with oil. So that was kind of going through the moisturizing routine I just was talking about. So where you would put a toner on first, which I like to use our healer. And then I would use a body nectar. It really depends upon the time of year. So in fall, winter, or in the nighttime, because I am a combination, but I like probably bottom half is dry. So I like to use a nice heavier moisturizer in the nighttime just to kind of keep my skin glowing there.
And I'm a big fan of the spray toners over your healers. What turned me on to spray toner over like, you put it on the pad and you really put it on your I don't know. I'm over that. So spray is the way to go, I think.
I like it because it feels like you're wasting product when you're using the toners that you're kind of putting on the pad. I just always feel like you're wasting product on this pad. So
I don't think it really it just feels like it's really on top too versus also you can grab the spray when your face is still wet and then it feels like it's seeping in. But when I'm pulling out the pad, whatever, and then it's kind of like, oh, this part's really good and this part's not so good. So
because by the time you get over here, you feel like the pad's dried out. So
so spray. We're big fans of spray toners.
Okay, good. And then sometimes that healer can also double as a kind of a setting spray or finishing spray more than setting spray to take that powdery look off your makeup too. Yes, I talked about, and then the other thing I like to do is if I'm using a water-based moisturizer, I like to use Olay in between. So a healer, like a cream base, like a heavy cream, and then some kind of oil. So I like to seal with the magic oil just to kind of keep all of that in there. And like you said, it helps even your skin and kind of just help that moisturizing absorb. And then the other for the makeup or for the moisturizing, my favorite thing that I don't do as much as I should is a moisturizing mask, the little sheet mask. Do you use those?
I know. I'm so bad about that. I never use that kind of stuff. Like the most I'll do is like maybe on Sunday I'll remember to like put a clay mask in like my breakout areas, and call it a day. Like did it.
That's so good though. I mean, they have so you can use a sheet mask for moisturizing mask, but they also have. I found a really good one that was inexpensive at Trader Joe's, and I forget the name of it, but I think it was some kind of moisturizing mask in a little jar. And that maybe $5-6. So it just, but I like to put them, and then a lot of the moisturizing masks that aren't sheet masks, they say, oh, just put it on and go to bed. So it's really like a heavy moisturizer that you go to bed in, but it's good to do. I try to, if I'm doing everything like I should, I like to do them at least 2 times a week, but in the quarantine, I haven't been the best at that.
Totally. So I have a question. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot going on with serums in the serum world. Okay. This is how I do it. And you can totally just put me on blast if I'm doing it wrong. I'll wash my face. I'll use a spray toner. Then I'll put on moisturizer. Then I go for an oil. And I feel like it's probably you should go for the oil, like oil or serum first. but I don't know why I instinctually am like, nah, I want to put on the moisturizer first. Does it matter the order?
I think so. I think of it this way, is that oil for me, oil is last, because if you think about, you're putting in water, and even if you think about just salad dressing, for instance, the oil always floats to the top, and then the water. So it kind of like you think of it locking in the water, and if you put oil and water together, the oil is always on top, so it's not going to mix, and that water can't really get through the oil. So that's just my logic. How?
Okay, good.
Yeah. So
I'm on that logic. So
yeah. So I do, like you said, so I will do toner. And then if I have a serum, which another one that's really great is at Trader Joe's as well. I think they have, I forget the name of it. Y'all just go to Trader Joe's and look in their beauty section. You'll see it. but I will do the healer toner and then the serum, just because I start think about in terms of thickness too. So like a toner is very thin, your serum's a little thicker, and then you have your moisturizer that's thicker than both of those, and then your oil to seal it all in.
Love it.
So just I like to think through logically that way. But yeah, so the serum should go before the moisturizer, and then oil or anything like that is last.
Love it. Okay, good. So I'm not completely messing it up.
No, you're doing good. Actually, you just change that order a teeny bit and you're fine.
Teeny bit. I know. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, but we're really good.
Okay, good. So go ahead.
Oh no. So final bucket is other. So I feel like if people ask me, my two biggest skincare things, moisturizing is one. And two is exfoliating. I just think exfoliating is so important because it removes those dead layers of skin and kind of helps you get that glow. I personally exfoliate every day. Well, my face probably every day or close to it. But I think you build up to that because I've been doing it so little. So I don't recommend people just jump out there and get a scrape in their face, but exfoliate a few times a week. So I like a buff cloth. You know, the Clarisonic brushes.
I have
there's
one of
those little, those are really good. I have like the generic one of those too. But yeah, I think it works pretty decent, but the buff puff is always my favorite thing. And it's just BUF, and you can get them on Amazon for like, I don't know how much they cost, but they're there. And then, so that's so important. Please exfoliate. The next one is SPF. You need that just to protect yourself from skin cancer, anti-aging, antioxidant. So you'll need your SPF, and you should do that anytime you're going to be out in the sun. If it's cloudy, if it's raining, the sun's just there. It's just hidden by clouds, but put your SPF on.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there above the clouds.
I have a question with exfoliating. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused by it. I like that you said you've worked your way up to doing it every day.
Yeah.
So how often do you think somebody who has dry skin should exfoliate for? Because like, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like not there was a time in my life where I did it every single day with the Clarisonic brush thing. And it did work. And then eventually I was kind of like, I kind of feel like my skin is like drying out or getting irritated of this. So I'm kind of like, what's a good balance of exfoliating if like you're not new to it, but you're kind of on the starting outside?
Okay. So I think to start, if somebody's beginner, I'd say a couple times a week. But if you're kind of like you, I would say you're at least intermediate.
Thank you.
Intermediate. I would say you're at least like intermediate to advanced kind of girl. So I would say maybe every other day to start for you until you find your sweet spot there. So I say for me it's every day, but it's really more close to every day. Some days I don't. So I would say I'm doing it maybe at least 5 days a week.
And is it a night thing or is it a day thing?
Morning for me.
Morning. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do it morning.
Okay. Before everything or after everything?
Before everything. So I usually just do it in the shower. So in the morning when I wash my face, I'll do it there. And then for my second wash, I don't exfoliate. I'll just use a washcloth and wash my face, or either just wash with my hands and some soap. So just to make sure, because I tried exfoliating twice a day and it was way too much. So
so it can be overdone, but
yes, it definitely can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. What are the signs that you're overdoing in exfoliating?
Just like you said, irritation. So I exfoliate my face all the time, but then my body, I didn't. So that's how I learned that every other day, a couple times a week is a good place to start out. Cause I was trying to hop on those, those mittens that you use.
Yes.
Yes. Like jazz handsing for you. But the exfoliating mittens, I was using those on my body, and I thought, I'm used to exfoliating because I do my face every day. But no. And so the first thing you'll notice is the irritation, like you said, sometimes dryness, itchy. It's just your skin. If you think about like scraping something and just how it looks like it's been scratched or it's kind of abrasive. Right. So yes.
Totally. Okay.
And then usually if that happens, though, you can put a little aloe on your skin or some kind of nice thick butter just to kind of get it back together. The good thing about it is the irritation usually doesn't last very long. It's just you need to kind of soothe it a little bit and it'll get back together.
Great. Love that.
Yeah. And then my final tip in the other bucket, which is a bentonite and just some type of deep cleansing weekly mask. So you're talking about doing your mask on your problem areas, which is great. So you can do it on your problem spots or do it all over. And then most people kind of use some kind of mask that's either a bentonite clay mask or a charcoal mask. So those are kind of two deep cleansing things. The charcoal is more for drier skin. And then you have the bentonite clay, which people who are a little bit more oily prefer that one. But either person can use either one. It's just what works for you.
Okay, this might be a dumb question, but after you do this mask, then you do your whole skin routine, right?
So you are close again. You wash your face and then you do your mask and then do everything else. Yeah.
Then do everything else. So yes, don't put the product on, then take it off, but do cleanse beforehand. Great. Glad we covered that.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no, you're always pretty. That's what I said. You're like intermediate advanced there. I think you're pretty good there.
One day I'll make it to my QW self-care degree.
I wish we had degrees over here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So what questions do you have?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have so many questions, but first starting off, what kind of skin types are there? I feel like there's so many, and I think depending where you live can also affect it. And I think the most important thing to taking care of your skin is understanding what your skin type even is.
Correct. So they're usually kind of the skin types are kind of in three major buckets too. You have the dry, the oily, and then you have the combination, which is some combination of those. Which one is most common? I'm not sure. I know that I feel like I started out earlier in life as a dry, and then I turned into a combination, and now my T-zone gets very oily. But then I noticed over the pandemic when I started wearing less makeup, I'm not as oily in my T-zone anymore. So you kind of wonder, is it age or products or what goes on? But just saying all that to say that your skin type can change over time. Like you said, environment plays a factor. Sometimes you move into a warmer or colder climate and your skin tries to compensate for that and can turn you into a dry or oily.
Totally.
Yeah. So which skin type are you?
I think I'm combination. I think when I was younger and lived in New Mexico, where it's very dry, I think I had very dry skin because of it, but also I think I was drying my skin out on top of it, just constantly washing it. Like I had really bad acne when I was a teenager, even worse than like what I had kind of like going on in between the COVID stages. So I think I was dry when I was young. And then I moved to California and I was so oily, like the worst kind of oily. It was just like uncontrollable oil. And then now I kind of think I've like balanced out. I almost think like right under my eye, low T-zone can be kind of oily. And then like the rest is like pretty, I don't know. It just feels normal. It doesn't even feel like drier, but I do now start thinking more about, okay, well, if I'm not oily, then I'm probably dry. Yeah. And then I'm like, start to worry about, fine lines and keeping it moisturized and sunscreen. So yeah, I think I'm combination skin.
Okay. So a couple of things too, a few things can contribute to the oiliness. Sometimes if you're using the wrong moisturizer. So when I was much younger, because I've always been slightly obsessed with looking young or not aging, I started
Aren't
using
we all?
Yeah. But I figured if I started using like the 30 plus moisturizers that I could like get a leg up on things before I got there. And I was maybe barely 20 when I started doing this, but I started getting very oily just all over and in my T-zone mainly. But I spoke to a dermatologist about it, and they said that some of the other the really heavier kind of anti-aging moisturizers make you produce more oil, which makes sense in theory.
Right.
So I switched my moisturizer and that went away. Another thing is you can change the oil. Is your skin, let's say if you're dehydrated, your skin is producing oil trying to make moisture. So drink a little bit more water, and sometimes that'll balance it out as well. So just 2 tips there.
Love it. Yeah. And then, is any of it genetics, or is it all kind of like what you're putting in to your body?
It's a combination. I think it's a nature and nurture. Like I was saying, like those 2 things were what you were doing, like more nurture based. But I noticed my mother and I have really similar skin, but she's a little bit more on the drier side. But the problem areas that she has are, we share same like challenges and similar places in our face. So I think it can be both.
Yeah, I think it can be both too. I'm like, I'm curious to see, because my mom has never really had acne. It's very interesting, but and like, she doesn't seem to me to have dry skin, but I've never seen her oily either. But also my mother has never really worn that much makeup. So I'm like, I think it's just normal. I know it's like, why do we block ourselves from like breathing or skin breathing? Or did. I'm trying not to go back to it, but it's hard.
It is hard.
It's definitely really hard. And like, what are your feelings about things like, how often do you think someone should get a facial? What kind of facials are really helpful, like to the skin, to just like keeping it producing itself naturally?
That's a good question. I don't really get facials I'm trying to think. Like, I think I've gotten a few over my life. So it depends. I personally think the facials are beneficial. And if nothing else, but for the pampering aspect of it, I think we need a little pampering.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. That's a good question. I really have a good answer about how often they should get them. I'm from one of the estheticians that actually did say about once a month or so, but it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never gone once a month. I think I can just pace them out in my head, and it's maybe 4 or 5, so I don't know. I feel like some people think like swear by them, and I kind of like, if you're keeping up with what you need to do, I don't know.
I agree.
Sure. I wish I could go once a month or once a week, but I don't know. And like, I loved how you were saying about your mom, and like, you were also talking about, you thought when you were in your early 20s to like start using all of these anti-aging creams and whatever. What are some anti-aging tips to start now?
So the main one is the SPF and the moisturizing. I think that's why I feel like I'm aging well because of that. I do know that genetics do play a part in it, but I really think that anti-aging and how your skin is holding up is just the treatment of it. Drinking your water, just not being too tough and rough on your skin, minimizing alcohol and drug use as much as possible. I know that life gets stressful and people need to cope, so I get it, but that's definitely one thing to cut down the aging. Also smoking, not smoking, if you can stop that, that's a good reason to stop smoking. Those are my biggest ones.
Love it.
Yeah.
And then like, I feel like the under eye area is like a huge topic for a lot of people. Like, and then also I feel like there's this whole thing going on like of anti-fillers, which I'm all about in the face, because they do move, which is like terrifying, because you're going to end up with it in weird places and it's going to look bad. What do you recommend for under the eyes?
So I like an eye cream for that. And then I also use the little eye patches, those little patches they put under the eye. Yeah, I'm I'm a big mimer for Marley. But yeah, I like the those 2 things. So just moisturizing there as well. I mean, I understand people going to get fillers, but you're right, they do move. And then sometimes it seems like when they're overdone, it makes people look a little rubbery as well. So
well, also I personally feel like the face and the eye, I'm so obsessed with this area. The bigger in space it is, the like more awake you look. And I sometimes think with some filler, not all, and I'm not saying like, don't go do filler or whatever, but can make it smaller. And like, your eyes are so beautiful, we want to see your eyes. So I like, why take up any of that space?
That's a good point. I didn't think about the enlarging that space. That's a really good point.
Like, I mean, I feel like that's why people get their eyebrows raised. Like, they want more space here. So like, if you're, pushing, I'm also now miming it. Like if you're pushing your lower eyelid upwards, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like we're closing that off. So I don't know. I'm a big proponent of not in that area. I used to want fillers so bad in that area because I have really bad rings just like genetically. And like, I've been a vegetarian forever or pescatarian or whatever. And, I do think I use now a night cream every day. I was a big fan of the eye patches under my eyes for a while. But then like, I just wasn't good about keeping up with them because I feel like you have to keep them on, you take them off, whatever. And like, I just want to put an eye cream there and go to bed.
Yeah, I'm more of a eye cream kind of girl too. That's why I think I don't keep up with my sheet masks as much as I should. But I like a under eye cream or either just like a night cream to put there. But since I've actually recently turned 40, so
oh my gosh, you look incredible. Like,
well,
yes, you are aging very great.
That's very nice. I feel like I've been at it since I was about 18. So, and I try not to, somebody said, they're like, you should tell your age more and help you sell more products.
No, I think more people should.
You're right. But I'm always shy because I don't want to be, I want the younger people to use the products as well and not think, oh, that's for old people, but or something crazy. But
like instead they could be like, what, you're 40 and like, I want to look like that.
True.
And like, I think you are a testament of showing how good skincare, if you start early, will benefit you. Like,
true.
So
well, thank
different,
you.
Reframe that marketing for you.
Yes, I do need to go. Yeah, but when I turned 40, I just turned 40 in June. So I had a whole thing and everyone's like, no, you need to tell people you're 40. It's like, okay.
Good.
But yeah, so I just turned 40. So I don't know if it's my mind or actually just turning 40, or one of the gifts of age, but I do look and I'm like, I think that's a line. So I started trying to be more diligent with my under eye cream and the little patches. So yeah.
And then in the skin care, body care, health industry, like what are some trends you're kind of seeing right now? They can be healthy or not.
Skincare trends right now. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm seeing any unhealthy trends. I feel
That's
like
good.
You said earlier at the top of the call that most people are more into skincare, and that makes me very happy because I think that while makeup is amazing and we all love a good glam and a good beat, I just think if you work on that base, you can get a lot farther and need less makeup and get more mileage out of it. I don't know. Like I can't think of a trend. Have you seen trends? Maybe I can comment on it.
There's one thing I remember that was kind of like a big moment for me. I realized was like, do you remember like I want to say like 2011 and 2012, there was all those face washes. They were like CVS drugstore face washes that had kind of beads in them.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that it was really bad on the skin. It like caused evidently micro tears in the skin. It was also really bad for the environment. So like, and I loved those because I was convinced it was like scrubbing out my acne and it probably wasn't. It was probably just spreading it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a trend that was really bad. I think a trend that's like so hit or miss because you just have to depend on the person. And like for me, where you kind of know things, but you kind of don't, is like having too many steps. I think there's a certain amount of like simplicity is just better. And also like, I don't know, I've heard some things like on TikTok, so very reliable, but some things don't mix very well with others. And I'm always like a little like terrified of that. So, at one point, I think I was putting all the oils I possibly ever owned on my face at one time. And now I try to like limit it to one a night. But then also like something I learned, I think, is I was changing my products too much. I'm basically just contradicting everything I say. So don't put on all of the oils, but do put on all the oils, but don't change them too much. I'd say like, having a few things that are like staple in your routine, and then like a few things that you do certain nights and that you don't other nights, to kind of like give that thing a break. Cause also I feel like I've burned out on products really fast. Your skin gets used to it. And then you're kind of like, oh, that worked really great. Too bad it's not making my zits go away anymore, except for the glass elixir. And this is not a plug. I'm just saying I've had such bad acne for like a long, long time. And like that really just like gets in there. It kind of burns. I'm not going to lie, but I like the burn. I feel like I know it's doing something.
The burn is actually, it's interesting. I had just one person complain about it. And I told her, I said, you can dilute it with a little water if it's too intense for you. And then everyone else is like, oh, it burns. I like it. So I was like, yeah. But it's a quick burn, you know, it burns a little, it's quick. And then it goes to doing, but yeah, the first time, especially if you do it after, I always recommend, don't do it after exfoliating, like give your skin some time to just like, you know, but it does work. Yeah, I agree with what you said about the lot of products. And that's been kind of our whole messaging. And mainly it's because I'm working, I'm a caregiver, like I'm running a business. I just don't have time to sit there for 40 minutes and do a bunch of stuff to my face. I'm tired when I get home. I want to get into bed. That's it. So a lot of the products that we have, I designed everything where it could be multi-use. You can use it for, you know, a few different things, and you can do those 3 steps. That's what I was telling you about the kit, I think before we started, but we have a kit where it kind of just grew out of the pandemic and just me doing 3 steps: washing, toning, moisturizing, and I'm going to bed. So, or either sitting at my computer working from home. So those are the big 3 for me. But I think you're right. And I bet, like what you were talking about your mom, most people who mention their mothers having really great skin, like the previous generations, is always really simple routines. Like one of my friends told me that her mom had the most flawless skin I saw her, just beautiful skin, looks like somebody airbrushed it. And so she said that her mom just kind of wiped with a little bit of alcohol and rinsed her face, and that was it. Or either some days she would just take a washcloth and water, and then she's done, just water. So yeah, so I bet your mom's routine is probably really simple too. It's like they always have like some kind of simple routine with just soap and a little bit of, you know, Olay or something simple. That's all they do.
Yeah, I think my entire life she's used the same cleanser and a toner and then like maybe a moisturizer, and that's it. Like, yeah. Okay.
And then my mom uses our products, but then she'll put, I think before we developed our cleansers, she used Noxzema. And then sometimes she uses Noxzema to wash her face and moisturize it, because they had that on the bottle like when I was a kid, but she still remembers that. And so she'll do, if she's not feeling like everything else, she'll do 2 things. And my grandma was the same thing when they weren't using the little mixes that we made. That was it.
Totally. Yeah. So don't buy into the complete marketing of we need to have effects, you know.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. All right. So what is next for you in your business? What's going on? Give us the tea on your business.
Okay. So most recently, I think a month ago, we released the glass or the Simply Clear bundle. Apologize for that. But it's basically, like I was saying, it evolved out of the pandemic and just me struggle, you know, just trying to work and do everything and then maintain my mental health. I just haven't had, you know, it in me to do all these extra steps. So it's the face wash, the toner, and then you also get the body nectar, which is, I had it for my body, and then I started one day, I just put it on my face and my face was doing good. And all the customers have been already saying they've been using it on their face anyway, and they loved it. So that's it. So that's available on the site now. It's fairly new. And then what we have coming out soon is we're going to do shower melts, because a lot of us have seasonal allergies. So like myself, I have spring and fall allergies now. So just something kind of give you a little bit of vapors and help open your sinuses up and help that portion of you as well. So, and I think there's some butters coming out towards the end of the year, maybe top of the year, but that's kind of what we're doing right now, just to close out the year.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Emma, it's so good to see you. I love chatting to you. Tell us and everybody where we can find you. Plug yourself out.
Okay. So you can go to our website. It's qwselfcare.com. And then we are QW Self-Care, or at QW Self-Care across all social media. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. For Facebook, I think it's QW Self-Care, and there's some number on the end. I have to find that. But if you search for QW Self-Care, you'll find it.
You'll find it.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're on there. I've made a couple TikToks. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Alma, it's seriously so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here and chatting about Skincare 101.
Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.